Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the It's Pizza Time podcast. I am your host, iNDiGO. Today, I am joined by a very special guest by the name of Killin Void.
I'm a player.
Hello.
So, for everybody out there who doesn't know who or what Killin Void is, would you like to kind of explain, summarize it?
So yeah, hi, I'm Killin Void. I'm from Salzburg, Austria. Actually, 10 minutes from here, Mozart was born. As a little fun fact, and yeah, I mainly produce dubstep, but more into the directions of melodic rhythm, color bassy, so very colorful and melodic stuff. So that's what I'm going for with my sound. And yeah, if you have ever seen me live, you will notice me by my white hair and my mask, I would say. So yeah, that's about all for now.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's definitely a concise introduction. I didn't know that fact about Mozart. I knew that he was. I was like, oh yeah. I didn't really think about that when you said Austria, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do you mention that often? Like in a job interview?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I mentioned that because most people can kind of have an image in their head of where I am located, kind of, and they can be like, "Oh, yeah, exactly there." Also,
Yeah.
Sound of Music, if that rings a bell, is also shot here. So yeah, that's where I am.
That's dope. Have you ever used that as a subtle flex? Like, hey, I live in this area.
Well, not really. It's just where I live, and I don't think that just because Mozart was born here, I got some of that musicality. But it's just people know Mozart, and so just they know where I am.
Yeah, Mozart's musical skill. It's like radiation. It stays around the area for a few hundred years.
Yeah, totally.
So anyway, I'll go right into the first question that we have for everybody here. But obviously, this being the Pizza Time podcast, we gotta ask, what is your favorite kind of pizza?
Well, I used to go with just a salami pizza, but lately I've been into damn it, what is it? It's kind of it's a weird thing. I don't know the exact name for it, but it has damn it, what's that even called? Is rucola a thing in English? Rucola?
Arugula?
I don't think rucola. No, it's kind of like a green thing, kind of like.
Is it like leaves, kind of thing, like a leaf plant? Yeah. We have arugula, that's a thing.
Okay. So, anyways, that with salami and parmesan. So like a cheese. Yeah, that's kind of. It's a weird mixture, but I like these three things, and together they're like mwah. Top.
I mean, to each their own, right? I'm not gonna bash it before I go ahead and try it. So that actually doesn't sound too bad either. So,
yeah.
yeah. Also, for everybody listening and for Killin Void, I haven't explained this, but sorry if I'm sounding kind of tired. It is 8:30 in the morning. I literally just got out of bed. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. Yeah, quarantine has not been kind to my sleep schedule. I'm pretty sure most people could agree. You know what I mean?
I had that as well. I think after 3 weeks in quarantine, I literally couldn't sleep at night and slept during the daytime for a few days. It was really weird. So yeah, I think everybody is kind of struggling with that.
Yeah, there were some nights earlier in quarantine when I would still be awake right now. I wouldn't have gone to bed yet. Which is not that good of a thing when I want to try to when I have things to do. But yeah, I'm at least at least I'm like able to be awake right now and not dead. So, um, anywho, so you do a lot of like, since you said you do a lot of like melodic drum and bass, you're currently you just recently dropped an EP on Rushdown, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. It's called the Enlightenment EP. Has 4 tracks, and yes, it's actually the very first really EP that has this kind of sound. So before that, I was actually doing all kinds of stuff, and this EP is kind of the point where I want to say, okay, this is kind of the direction I want to go for, because yeah, I wanted to stick to one sound, and before I just did anything really. So drum and
Mm.
bass, future bass, everything, and but that genre really resonates with me, and that's why I will stick to it for some time now.
All right. Well, so I guess how did you come into the idea? Like, how did you get involved with I guess let's start with like the earlier stuff. So how did you get involved with like music period, and then how did you if that eventually translate to you wanting to do like dubstep and stuff like that?
Well, it really started off with dubstep. So I think the thing that really got me into this world was, well, as for many people, it was Skrillex. So when I first heard his music, actually on the radio, really weird because we usually never hear something like that on the radio. But that was, I think, 2012. That was the time when the Bangarang EP from Skrillex came out, and it was
Yeah.
just everywhere. And I was just so impressed what this is. I have never heard something like that before. I mean, I literally only heard like some melodic element in pop music before, but that was a whole new level, and I was like, what is that? Is that electronic metal or what? And then I just got into it and found out that's dubstep and listened to more songs, and then I just really got into it, and I saw videos from Skrillex just DJing and partying, and yeah, that's kind of what motivated me to go into this direction and just dig into this deep world of electronic music and especially dubstep.
Yeah, Skrillex is definitely like one of those. It's the artist that pretty much inspired everybody. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
totally,
like he's
totally.
been mentioned
Hmm.
at least once in every single episode we've done on here. Um, yeah, like I mean, it's like funny enough. I didn't get into like Skrillex until like I was at least into electronic music for like a year, but it was still like it was almost like discovering it for the first time
Hmm.
again, which
Hmm.
is like I quite interesting. You're like
Yeah.
you kind of have like an idea of what electronic music is, and then there's just this EP that just fucking, or for me it was like the Scary Monsters Nice Sprites EP that just like
Hmm.
fucking decimated and like everything, and I was like, "Oh, where did this
Hmm.
come from? Why is this so popular now?" And then you listen to it and you're like, whoa, okay.
Holy fuck, yeah. It's also like because in other genres in electronic music, it translates pretty well to classic, not classic music, but to more traditional music because they play with with bass synths that sound like a typical bass and like chord stuff that sound like a piano. But with dubstep, they started to synthesize sounds that were just out of this world. You couldn't relate them to literally anything. I mean, you could relate them to Transformer,
Yeah,
dinosaur growls,
yeah,
but that's it. And it was just such a total new level of sonic experience, I would say. So that's, I think, what got the people invested into this kind of genre.
definitely. Like, I mean, there's probably like the people that were, kind of interested in the fact that it's something that like you could make completely like also just by yourself. You didn't really need too much like knowledge of music to do it,
Mm.
which is like, or at least not of theory. You didn't
Yeah.
like, obviously you need to kind of have a sense of what you're doing, but you don't need to have like gone to school for it or anything.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
but then there's also, the people that probably got attracted to it because of like the quote unquote lifestyle, like the DJ fucking
Sure.
living it up in the club every night, whatever. um, yeah, I mean, fucking
I think it's kind of funny because those two worlds are connected, but are like two very different worlds, kind of. Because everybody starts off, or at least most people start off in their bedroom making music, staying alone, not socializing a lot, staying all there in their studio, and then when they suddenly pop off and go viral, and then they suddenly have to start touring, and then they're in front of thousands of people and are out every day and are just on tour, and that's just two totally different things, kind of. But that's kind of the step afterwards, and for me, it's just a bit. I don't know. It's just it's weird somehow, but I think for me, it's a very nice two very nice worlds because love both. I love sitting in my studio and just taking time off, just ignoring everything and everybody else, and just making music. But then I also love playing shows so much. So yeah, which is not happening at the moment. So I'm really missing that. But yeah, I just love those two worlds, and I think they're just the perfect combination because sometimes I feel like alone time and making music, and then going to a show is even more exciting because you spend a lot of time at home and then you finally get out and play that music live. Yeah, that's why I think those two worlds are just connected very well.
yeah. Okay. So you said like you just kind of got into dubstep. Like, did you have any musical experience prior to that? Did you like go to school for it? Did your parents teach you anything?
Not at all. Before I was just doing sports. I was a sports guy. I did karate. So I'm doing that still. So I started with at the age of 5. So I'm doing that for 15 years now. So, but that was kind of my main thing. So music was never really the main thing in my family. I mean, my dad played some guitar when we was younger, and apparently there are videos of me I don't know messing around with a guitar, but that's literally all. So I didn't get any um musical education or something like that. And yeah, well, my whole family isn't that musical. They are more the science guys and doctors and everything.
All right.
So that wasn't really it didn't come from my family. It
Yeah.
just came from the internet basically, and just for myself within. So I also gotta say that I was really anti music, I would really say, because when I went to okay, we have a different school system than you probably, but after like 4 years of school, I had to decide between two. I was going to a new school, and then there I had to decide between the science class or the music class, and I was like, no way you can get me into music class. I don't want to be there at all, and I just wanted science all the way. And yeah, I just find it funny how everything turned out, and that I actually kind of regret not going to the music school because that would have helped me now, I would say. But I'm really happy how everything turned out. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely. I'm glad to hear that that worked out for you. Um. So like, how was it that if you initially like didn't want to, so first of all, sorry for everybody listening if you heard a fucking giant crash and shit and me yelling fuck. I had dropped my mic. I went to fucking go close my window because there are kids fucking screaming outside, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta do that, and I accidentally fucking dropped my microphone. Cool. I think it's still working, so like that's, is it? Can you attest to that?
Yeah, it sounds fine to me.
Awesome. That's good. You know, we're not breaking anything here. Um anyway, basically, so you started doing like I guess when you started working with electronic music, did how did your like family, I guess, think of it? Did you like tell them immediately, or did you kind of like keep it to yourself for a while?
Yeah, I would definitely say that I shared with my parents, and I have the most supportive parents ever. So really, they were very supportive, and even though they actually are kind of the science family, they never questioned if I really want to do this. They just supported me whatever I wanted to do, and yeah, I showed a lot of music to my parents and to relatives and to friends, and actually. I would say my mom was even more invested in showing everyone because at Christmas she was always like, "Oh, come on, Killian, show our relatives some new songs you made," and so it was. My mom is very supportive, and um, yeah, I'm really thankful for that because that's yeah, great motivator.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that's definitely like good to have like supportive parents, but I feel like it must have been probably annoying at like family gatherings and like you'd be like brought up like, hey, like can you like show your granddad this music that he probably won't understand and
Mhm.
maybe like
Yep.
freaked out about.
Yeah,
um
yeah, that's the best thing because yeah, most of them are too old, and I know that they just won't like it that much. And my other relatives, from my mom's side, they're actually very musical, but super traditional musical. So,
yeah.
when I showed them, they were like, "Do you have ever heard of scales and stuff like that?" And I was like, "No, I just do whatever sounds best."
Have you
So
ever
yeah.
heard of scales? No, that's like, no, that's a killer. Fucking yeah, I feel that. It's like I try to keep. I'm like very into pretty much all things electronic. A lot, being dubstep being one of those things. So if like I ever, even like in casual like conversation like with my friends, like I try to kind of keep my music taste out of it because it's like if like they ask me like to show them what I listen to, like hey, I'll show them, but for the most part it's like I try to I don't try to go like screaming from the rooftops that like hey, I listen to
Mhm.
dubstep, because it's like for the most part people don't really get it.
Mhm.
They're like I feel like it's just one of those things that it's like it's an acquired taste unless you just kind of like
Mhm.
understand the concept.
I also feel like you just kind of gotta get into it because at first there were also a lot of dubstep tracks that I did not like, but I just love Bangarang and I listened to that thing over and over and over again. And then I got into the other tracks of the Bangarang EP, and then it developed further and further. I think if you start off with like super annoying rhythm that's out there nowadays, I can really get that people can get behind it. But it's yeah, as I said, an acquired taste kind of where you just gotta get into it by listening to it a lot of times and really feeling the energy. But I also wonder um, because there definitely are people that will never get behind it, and I just really don't. I really want to know why the hell do I like this kind of music? What makes me enjoy it so much? And I mean, if you think about
Yeah.
it, it's so much noise sometimes, but it's just uh, enjoyable. And I mean, if you compare it with, I don't know, a classic Mozart piece, you could say that, like, yeah, it's so complex and it's so well written. And then there comes, I don't know, Must Die and just makes screeches and noises. And I enjoy that even more. So, why the hell is that? And why do I enjoy it and my dad does not enjoy it? I just really want to know. It's one of the things that's a big mystery in the world to me.
It's definitely a very interesting like a concept, like thinking why we enjoy things that are like I
Hmm.
guess for the most part atonal. um it's like there's probably like something going on like neurologically that's like just
Yeah.
maybe it's the fact that we're like um maybe it's just the kind of like shock and awe that like this shouldn't sound the way it does, but it does sound this way.
Hmm.
um that like yeah, personally I just don't really question it. I'm just like, hey, it's music, right? If we like any kinds of music, technically everything is music if done right.
Yeah,
um
exactly.
so Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, let's talk about, I guess, more of what you've been doing lately. So besides that Rushdown EP that you just put out, you also you won one of the remix competitions for Disciple lately, right?
That is right.
Uh, which one was that? If you would have to.
It was the track by Infect, Score.
Yeah. I was like following you on your, I guess, journey through that, where you completed, I believe you did like 13 remixes
Exactly,
over
14.
the course of that. So like how'd you I guess start that whole ordeal? Like how'd you go about, like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna try to remix? Were you just like, hey, I'm gonna try to remix all of them, and then you just like set out to do it?
Yeah, I saw Disciple put out the contest, and they said like, yeah, biggest remix contest, 18 tracks or so, and I was like, damn, can I remix all of them? And then there were some rules, and I um just read them and understood that you could remix literally all of them. You could win all of them, they said, but it's probably not gonna happen. But I was like, yeah, okay, let's get my calendar, and then I literally um, marked a deadline in my calendar and calculated how much remixes per day I basically had to finish. So I think I ended up with 4 days for one remix over the course of 2 months, which I could not do. As I said, I did 13 because in the end it just didn't work out with my
Yeah.
social life, with my parents. The problem is that it was summer
Yeah.
and there were some holidays planned, and my parents and my girlfriend were not so happy about my thoughts of taking the computer with me on holiday and just working all day. So I left it at home, and I could not finish all of them, but I made 13, and yeah, one of them won, so I'm really not complaining.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely something to think about. Like, and I mean, like you said, it's like there wasn't any guarantee that you'd win all of them, but like, were there any like that you particularly wanted to focus on more than others, or were there any that you've put in more time in
Well,
than others?
yeah, I just wanted to win this, and I knew I had to do it strategically. That's why I started to calculate how much days I am allowed to need for a remix, and I also knew that some of the tracks weren't as popular as others, and obviously everybody was going to remix Virtual Riot, Pray for Rhythm, and Eliminate with his You're Gonna Love Me because it had vocal in it and everything.
Yeah, and it
And I knew
wasn't.
that some other tracks were just pretty unpopular, and I knew, okay, those need the most attention. And yeah, that's why I also um, focused on the less known tracks more than on the others. But
Yeah,
I couldn't help myself and start off with the "You're Gonna Love Me" remix because the vocals were just so great. But then I think the best track actually was my Player remix. I think that's really one of the rather least known, and I think there were very few remixes, at least if you compare it to Virtual Ride or Eliminate.
oh yeah.
And I really thought I might get that one. And so it was really a weird situation to watch the results come up because I didn't make that one, and I was like, "What? How?" And then I actually won another one, and I was like, "Oh damn! I did not expect this at all." But yeah, I keep repeating, I am not complaining at all. So yeah, I'm really happy that I won at least one.
I mean, that's definitely something to be happy about. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like, so I think, were there, like, so you're saying like the one that you wanted to, I guess, remix the most out of that package was "You're Gonna Love Me." That was like, there weren't any
Hmm.
like in
Hmm.
particular that like you had heard a lot before, and you were like, hey, I really want to take a like on this one, even if it's like just kind of for fun.
Hmm. So sorry, I didn't get the question right there.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, yeah, fuck it. Never mind. That was poorly phrased. Just forget about it. Whatever. We're leaving this in. The show runs on the fact that I am not actually a good host. I'm really bad at this.
No,
Um,
no, no, dude, you're fine.
yeah. Okay, well, I guess let me ask like a different question that just like came up with on the spot. Um, so how has it been like? You said you were from Austria, so how has it been like? How has that been like involved in your career? Like, has it been? Do you think you have had more advantage or like disadvantage compared to like artists out in the U.S. or different parts of the world? Or like,
That's a
have you had?
question I'm asking myself as well. Um, it's really hard to say. I'd say in Austria I am very well because I'm in Salzburg, and Salzburg has quite a good dubstep scene. Because if you go to Vienna, for some reason there's nothing. They are all drum and bass and everything. Europe in general is also rather on the drum and bass type,
Yeah.
maybe hardstyle, but dubstep is not the biggest thing at least. I mean, it's there on festivals. We have okay, yeah. So I think it's actually quite fine because here we have one club that is at least if there's not a pandemic out there, it is getting acts every weekend, and every I think once a month it's a dubstep act. So we had Pegboard Nerds, we had Mostep, we had Spaghetti. So we had a lot of people already over here, and I also got to play support for what was it, Spaghetti and Pegboard Nerds. So that was definitely not the I'm not at the worst location at least, and also, why I think that it's quite good where I am is because we also have a festival that is also 15 minutes from here. It's the biggest festival in Austria and also one of the biggest in Europe. It's called the Electric Love Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about that is that they had a DJ contest where I also tried to win. Failed two times, but at the third time I did it, and I got to play on the main stage there, which was also really great opportunity because same stage as where Skrillex already played and Marshmallow and Slushy and you name it, everybody was on there, and I got to play on the same stage as them, which was a huge opportunity. So I would really say I'm in quite a good place. But yeah, the dubstep scene is in the US, I would say, and I think there is no way um, for me to take a tour in Europe. I think. I mean, at least if I'm not like, uh, I don't know,
Like
like new
support for
Skrillex.
someone. Uh,
Yeah, support, but definitely not a big ass tour just for me or supporting somebody else. So I
yeah.
think that's where the US is would be way better, and yeah, I'm really I really want to be there for some time in the US, and if I get bigger, um that I could take some um chances there and opportunities, and yeah, so I think eventually um the US is the better place, but I think it's really not bad here. So we have our dubstep festivals and shows here, so it's not like a dead place.
Yeah, I got you. So have you ever considered like, have you ever considered like moving out like to the States or to like I guess out of Austria, like and to further your career, I should say.
Yeah, I've definitely thought about it. So, well, I've been in the States last summer, but just for holidays. I actually visited the Disciple headquarter and got to meet Bandles there. It was quite fun.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, Vishal, right?
uh, yeah, exactly. He was there. We were just ringing at the door, and he just came out, and I was like, "Hey, the Bandles guy."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so at the moment I'm studying here in Austria, and we got a thing that in about a year we are supposed to do an internship, which we can also do abroad. So we can also basically go to the US if we want, and if we can find a place to do an internship there. And I really hope I can somehow manage to get there, get an internship in the US. That would be a nice first step to get to know the country a bit better. And yeah, I think somehow I would like to be there for some time at least, like I don't know, for a few years, just living there and see where it takes me. But yeah, at the moment I'm here. Definitely gonna finish my university, and yeah, we'll just see where things are heading. But not, I'm not, I don't have a strict plan that I'm going for, and like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the US in 4 years, and then I'm after 5 years I'm moving there and there. So no, that's really up to whatever the future gives me, if you can say it like that.
Yeah, yeah. And so like depending on, you don't have any control over it. It's just kind of whatever
Yeah,
happens happens. Um
kind of.
yeah. I mean that's definitely like a cool goal, like an intern, like doing an internship abroad. That actually sounds like something that'd be really fun. Like obviously, I would probably, like, if I could do that, I definitely would. Or
Hmm.
like even if it was like me going to another country, because I would just like the experience of that. You know.
Yeah, I also wanted to go to another university. Right now, I would have been in Ireland now, but because of the current situation, I didn't do that because they told me I would have like 80% online lectures, so it basically doesn't matter where I am. So I decided I would just stay here in Austria and not go to Ireland for a year
Yeah.
because, well, if I'm there and just sit in my room all day and just have online lectures, I thought that I would just stay here instead. But yeah,
Yeah.
I also wanted to do that, so I would definitely take the chance to do an internship abroad.
Yeah. Like having classes like nowadays that everything's mostly online. I feel really bad for the people that like put in a lot of effort to get into like better, like, more prestigious colleges and stuff like that, cuz like now you're not really getting the experience of
Hmm.
being on that campus, and you're not getting, like, I guess, their teaching styles and so much you're getting.
Exactly.
It's, all through a computer screen, which
Mm.
is,
Yeah, I
must.
also can't really work with that. It's just so distracting, and I don't know if I in my Zoom class and just um l- if I just open up Ableton over there and just make some music. It's just so very tempting, and yeah, it's very
Yeah.
distracting. I cannot focus at all, so I don't like it. Really don't like it. But actually, the last um, half year, I got really really good grades, and even though they were all online, but I don't know, I just could really spend my time very well on doing university work and doing work for my Killin Void project. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Somehow it's helped me, but it's really annoying, and I did not learn that much like before.
Oh yeah.
Before I
It
was
it's
on.
it's
Yep.
super it's super frustrating because it's, you can't, because it's like, you want to actually put in the effort into learning it, but if it's a class that you're not super, like, I guess, in, um what, you don't really have a high, like, you don't like it that much, like, you don't like
Hmm.
what you're learning that much, it's going to be really hard to put in that effort. And the difference
Yeah.
between like in-person class and like online is, when you're in the in-person class, you can't, like, just go to your computer's like sound mixer settings and just turn down
Yeah.
Zoom. You can't just,
I
like,
did that way too often.
yeah, there were even a couple times where it was just something that, like, either I knew or that was just so boring to me that I would just kind of mute Zoom, period, and just like play like Valorant
Mhm.
or something
Yeah,
while
exactly.
I was
You're
supposed
in
to.
high school or in university somewhere?
I was in university. I dropped out after like a year because I honestly, I just couldn't do it. And I was like, I probably would get further if I just put my effort into working rather
Yeah,
than.
I heard a lot of times from people over there. Works
Yeah.
out sometimes pretty well. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I can always go back if I need to. So,
Mhm.
all right. Anywho, speaking, I guess, more on current events, what have you been doing so far during like your quarantine period? I mean, besides making music, obviously.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say the EP because the EP was made in quarantine, but okay. Well, I also I don't know. I
Like,
did not
what are your
talk about it.
hobbies, like as a person?
Yeah. So as I already said before, I am doing karate, which was not happening at that time because it's a sport where you are touching a lot. So that
Yeah.
was not allowed at that time. So I got back into running really, which if a lot of artists are listening, I encourage you so hard to go running on a daily basis. It's very inspiring for me. If I hit a wall during the day and I just feel like I can't get any stuff done, I literally just go out of my studio, put on my running shoes and start running for half an hour or maybe an hour, come back and I don't know, I just feel like my mind is just relaxed and my body is just I don't know heated up and it just really feels nice after that. Taking a shower and then I'm back at work and it's just very nice. So yeah, that's the main thing I've been doing in quarantine because I couldn't do my karate. And well, next to that, um, well, not very much going on. I've been meditating a lot. Um, I've been meditating for I would say 2.5 years now. But I really got back into meditating during the quarantine because that also was like a time where I really knew that my I just needed a clean and fresh and healthy mind, and that actually also kind of helped me. I would
Yeah.
say. I mean, it's sometimes hard to say if something really helps you because you don't can't compare it. If I mean, you can compare it with before, but it was just a different situation. So sometimes I don't know if I just feel good because of the stuff I do, or maybe I just feel good. But I'm pretty sure it helps me. So running, meditating, doing sports, drinking a lot of water. But well, hobbies not really. Besides music, it's very time consuming. So next to that and university, isn't much time anyway. So
You don't play games, you don't read, don't watch anything.
Not really. I have been playing a lot of League of Legends when I was in high school. But I quit that when I realized that I have way too many ideas for music and could not get them out at all because I just spent too much time playing video games. So I completely stopped that really. But no, I actually started playing again in quarantine. But I also realized after some time that it's just uh, I can I'm very bad at controlling it and just saying like okay now I'm working now I'm playing. It was always like okay I'm working or I'm just playing some League of Legends right now, and then I knew okay I just gotta delete it again so I have time for music. Um, reading, yeah, I try to get into it. So if anybody has tips on getting to read daily, I'm really bad with that. I try to read on the daily, just like 10 pages a day because I just try to get a little goal done, but I'm not getting that done even. I'm like just lying in bed in the evening and just like god damn it, it's just 10 pages, but I really don't want to. Yeah.
I feel
So
that.
that's about reading.
I
I don't
can
know.
yeah, I can relate to that. Like I
Okay.
haven't read anything in a really long time. It's
Hmm.
cuz like I feel like it's cuz I keep both telling myself like hey, like I'm not really interested in anything that's out there, which is probably not true. There's probably something that will catch my interest, but it's also like I don't really want to take the time and like I guess like I don't want to put the effort into it, but
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
like
that's
telling myself that that's the case. Um
yeah,
yeah.
it's a hard thing. I just need one motivational thing that gets me in because the other stuff I do regularly. I do one sound design challenge every day. I play guitar every day. I play piano every day. I do some sports every day. But I can't get to read every day. It's just so weird because I do so many other things, but I just can't get that done. It's really weird.
Hmm. Um
And you were also asking about the shows and stuff like that. Yeah, I have a Netflix account, so yeah, sometimes I do watch, but only with if my girlfriend's over or my if a friend is over. so never watching on my own really. But if I watch something with my girlfriend or with my friends, it's I don't know, different stuff. Lately I've just finished Better Call Saul, at least what's out there right now, and I'm watching Breaking Bad with my girlfriend for the like fifth time, I guess. So
Mm,
yeah, that's my favorite shows.
yeah. Like I take it because, I mean, I take it you probably, in order to like finish Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, I'm pretty sure you must like socialize with them like somewhat frequently. So it makes me wonder like how is quarantine over there in Austria? Is it like super? Are there like strict regulations? Is it pretty like open for the most part?
It's changing all the time. It's pretty confusing, but you are. There was a time I was only allowed to see my parents and basically my girlfriend, but since both my parents and my girlfriend's parents work in the hospital and also are near the COVID station, we decided not to meet because extra risk. So I didn't see my girlfriend for 2 weeks, I guess. But yeah, when everything kind of lightened up and got better, I got to see my girlfriend again, and we at the moment it is rising up again. So there are regulations coming, but you are basically allowed to meet friends and stuff like that at the moment, at least. But yeah, it's also a lot of you should also know just that you shouldn't party all the time and go out and everything. I mean, now we close everything is closing, like bars and stuff like that is closing at 10 or 11 or so in the evening. So there's not much going on there at the moment. But yeah, there are more regulations coming right now because the um, numbers are rising at the moment, but not the same as in the US, I would say. So
Mm.
it's way more relaxed here at the moment, at least at the moment. So we'll see where everything goes.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, I guess you guys are like doing a lot better than the U.S. is right now. Like, I mean, the U.S. is going through well, I'd say a lot would be an understatement, since the most COVID
Yeah.
cases probably out of any other country. Then there's
Mm-hmm.
also all of the natural disasters going on. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
this is not a good year for the U.S. I can tell you that
Yeah, I
much.
know. Yeah.
I'm like I've always like wanted to like, and it sucks because like right now it's like traveling isn't super easy. So like I've because I've wanted to like go I'm a Swedish citizen, so like I could chill there for a while if I wanted to. But and so me and my family, we thought about like, hey, fucking like, why not just go back there, chill for a
Mm-hmm.
bit until most of this blows over, and then it's like we can't really do that because otherwise like we may not like ever be allowed back in until like everything's over with, and it's like
Oh,
we
no.
just kind of wanna we it's really difficult to deal with. Yeah. And I mean, I live in out in LA, and like the whole California is like on fire right now. So that's always, something that's, kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, at least, at least like you don't have to, deal with that going outside and then like you're actually like struggling to breathe. So that's a
Yeah.
win.
We have
Um
actually, I think, like 1 hour from here where I live, there's like a thing where you they sell bottles of air because apparently over there there's like the nicest air on the planet or so. We
that
have
how
that's a
would
weird,
that
weird
how
thing.
does okay, I need to learn the business behind that. Like that
Yeah.
whoever whoever created an industry where they're selling air is honestly probably the most like that's the most like five head thing I've ever heard in my life. Just
Yeah, I mean, it's like a tourist thing, and then I don't know if some. Chinese people come over here and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my I don't know, my grandma some air from here." That's
You're
like a
not
fun thing, but yeah,
you're
it's
not
like
buying. You don't have you're not selling air. You're selling like jars. That's really what your store is. But you're like branding it as though you're selling air. That's like, that's pretty. Honestly, like, hey, if it's like a tourist thing, I mean, that definitely works, right?
yeah.
And I
I'm not. We are not like I don't know. My mom is telling me, "Yo, Killian, we are short on air. Please get over and buy some more air for us. Thanks." So it's another. It's just for the tourists, I would say.
definitely. I mean, like, yeah, I'm gonna have to look in. I'm gonna have to look that up when like I get done with this because I actually want to. That's super interesting. I mean, because I was like, hey, I mean, to be fair, like with tourism, I feel like anything can be marketed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I wanted to, I could sell like fucking sewer water and just like brand it as like L.A., Los Angeles or the United States, like fucking sewer water, and there would probably be someone that would still buy it. Um, yeah, which weird stuff. Um, all right. Anywho, how do you let's jump back into the whole music thing being. How did you, I guess, come to um how'd you come to get like along with the people at Rushdown for your new EP? Like how did that come about? Because I'm honestly don't I'm sorry if I'm being a little what's it, presumptuous, but I feel like you don't have, like you said, since there's not a lot of dubstep scene over there where you are. Like I would assume that you don't have like too many dubstep connections around in Austria. So
Yeah. How it really came together was that Chime is um has like a Patreon, and he also offers one-on-one sessions where he gives feedback and everything like that. And I just heard about it and thought like, yeah, why not? I think my music kind of is music that Chime would like, and so I showed him to get some feedback on it, and he didn't really have to say anything, and he was just like, well, let's sign this. So that's basically how it came together. So I booked a session with Chime, and that's basically how he found me and how we released the EP. But at least at Rushdown, I can really say that actually the demo mail is really active. So we are checking that regularly. So at Rushdown, at least, that works very well. So I, yeah, don't have many connections here. We have a few dubstep DJs, which is where it's nice if you know them because you are getting some might get some nice gigs. And yeah, because I knew one of the guys that played before Rich Riot a few months ago, and I told him that I'm literally the biggest Rich Riot fan ever. I actually got to meet him, and he set up that I could meet him backstage. So that's the only time where I think where knowing somebody really helped me out. But it wasn't really. I mean, it was just a fanboy thing, I would say. So
yeah,
um, that's yeah, that's that.
yeah. Speaking of virtual riot, I feel like obviously I spend a lot of my time on socials, doing what it is I do for some reason, but there was the recent like thing of people considering you two like to look alike, which
Yeah,
with the whole disciple now with the bandana thing. Um,
exactly.
but like, what do you think when like people? Because and then like after it branched off into like people actually thinking that you look and kind of maybe even sound similar. But what do you think? I guess do you consider that as a compliment or?
Hard to say, really. I mean, it's not really about my music when they talk about this. I mean, I had uh, back then comments that I sounded like Richard Wright, which was most of the times, I think if somebody tells you that you sound like somebody, you most of the times you don't really take it as a compliment because most times it also more intended to be like, "Yo, dude, it's not original. You sound like that guy."
Hmm.
But since that is not really about my music, I think it's really I just think it's funny. I think it's a fun thing that people keep on with that joke. And yeah, I don't know. If,
Yeah.
it's just some it's some fun thing on social media. Definitely. I also had a incident where when Modestep was in Salzburg and played. I watched the show, and I was in the first row wearing a Virtual Riot merch, and his girlfriend, Modestep's girlfriend, at least Josh
Yeah.
Modestep's girlfriend, um, saw me and thought that I looked like Virtual Riot because my white hair was clashing with the purple light that was around there, and it looked
Oh.
like I have purple hair, exactly like Virtual Riot, wearing a Virtual Riot merch. I mean, I don't know why Virtual Riot would wear his own merch at a Mozart show in
Yeah, and
Salzburg, but anyways,
and
she posted
not be
about it.
backstage.
Yeah, and she posted about it and was like, "Hey, Virtual Riot, is that you?" And he reposted it, and he was like, "Hey, that's funny. Is that my doppelganger?" And yeah, that's already like 2 years ago or so. So that's already when that all started, and I think it's not never gonna um,
Yeah.
yeah, let go of me. But
And
yeah,
and
I
now and
think
now
it's a fun
you
thing.
now you're gonna have an official release on the same label as him.
Yeah, that's true. I
That
back then I also showed most a track of mine, and they were already kind of, yeah, that's cool. Keep it on, man. And now I'm on there.
yeah.
Yay!
Were there any I weird question here, but were there ever any artists that were like not vibing with your stuff, that were like, you know, that weren't exactly very supportive? You don't
Well,
have to drop
I
names.
mean,
I'm just asking if
no,
there were.
no. I really never had something like that, I would say. I mean, I had some times where I expected a more positive response, and they were more like, okay, do you see that and that doesn't sound that well, keep it on, but you can do it. They were always kind of supportive and positive. Like I literally never met anyone that really was like, yo, dude, what the fuck? This is shit, and I don't know. So really never had that. I mean, when I was in LA, at the Disciple headquarters, I showed Bandles an ID, and he was, for example, more like, okay, dude, yeah, this is cool. Yeah, I like the second drop, but you could really switch that up and get rid of the first drop. And I was like, hey, I really like the first drop. So yeah, that's the only incident where I think that, I mean, at least
Yeah.
the biggest one, but that's also not like he was very supportive and was like, yeah, keep it on. Here's my demo mail and keep sending stuff and keep improving. And yeah, a year later, he sent me a contract for the remix. So that's a great development.
Definitely, definitely. Um. Oh, and then here's the obligatory part of the episode where I lose my train of thought. Uh. All right. Well. Okay. So with everything like that you're doing right now with whole Killin Void, what do you, I guess, what are your, like, I guess, dreams or goals for the project in the future? Like, where do you want to take it? Like, what's like I guess the top tier thing that you want to do with it?
Well, I just gotta look to my left because I got my goals written down on a few pieces of paper
Oh,
and
really?
attached to my desk. So let's see. I got the Rushdown release checked. I got the Disciple thing checked. The biggest thing on there, which is on top of everything, which because it's probably taking the longest, is touring and being on tour. Not even as a main artist, but just I don't know, being in the US and going from show to show and just I don't know, yeah,
Yeah.
enjoying that.
You know what? I believe you probably the most organized person if you have already written down your goals. Do you consider yourself organized, or do your project on? Do you for one? Do you use FL or Ableton, or do you use something else?
I'm Ableton.
Okay, so I take it like you kind of organize everything in your project files very neatly,
I
or do
I
you not?
think about that a lot. I'm constantly changing my mind about that, but I can assure you that I'm thinking a lot about it and thinking about how what's the best way um is it actually the best way to organize everything perfectly and stuff like that. So I'm really thinking about it a lot and always trying to improve my workflow and stuff like that. At the moment, I would say I'm starting off quite messy, but I think that really helps my workflow if I don't worry too much about organizing and coloring and everything. I just try at the moment. I try to get ideas down in the first few hours, and after that, before I end my session, before I end my day, I try to, at least that's my idea. I try to organize it in the end, so that the next time I open the project, I'm not like, holy fuck, where do I even start, and where is everything? So
Yeah.
at least that's the idea. It didn't happen too often for now. So sometimes I'm organizing it in the middle of the thing. Sometimes I forget it. So, but at least that I think I would like to do it like that, and I think most people should try it. That you just ignore it for some time, just work on the music, and then at the end of the day, organize everything and clean everything up. So the next time you open up the project, you are really motivated to go into it again and don't feel like, oh goddamn, I don't know where to start and I don't know where the sound comes from and everything. So, but generally, I would say, yeah, I'm rather organized.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being organized is like honestly something that I value a lot, even though I don't do it. I think I value it more because of the fact that I'm not very organized as a person. Like I'm not. Uh, I've like I make a little music on my own, and my project files look like shit because I am not. I'm like, fuck it. I'll put it. I'll move it around in like 10 minutes, and then I don't, and it like usually fucks me up because of that. Like I can't find anything later.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So if you really wanna, I don't know, if you know that you will have a break or something like that, I think it's very maybe you should try that. Just in the at the end of your session, just try to organize it, and yeah, next time you open it
yeah,
up, you yeah.
definitely the way to go about it. For anybody listening, stay organized. It helps. Um, yeah. So I take like when when was your first like live dubstep experience? Were you still
Um,
were you still like early teens, late teens? Was it recently or like last year?
so
I guess.
like DJing myself or just experiencing somebody else.
Let's say both. Let's say one for each one.
Because I think I started off DJing quite early. I think even before I really got to a show. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, it started off with I don't know, like three friends in my bedroom, and I was just playing like yeah, for just for them. And yeah, I was already playing dubstep there, so I don't know if you can count that as a live experience. But so I always at least if it somehow fitted, played dubstep in my sets, even if it was on a school prom, I somehow managed to get some dubstep in there between two old classics or something like that. And like real proper dubstep DJ set club experience or festival experience, I would say was I'm not sure if it was actually the Electric Love Festival. It might actually be, or it was in the Cantina in another club where Mozart played, for example.
Hmm.
I'm really not sure, but I remember when we went to that club. The first DJ I saw was Dr. P, and yeah, that was really exciting because it was just, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the first time I saw like a dubstep act live. It was just I don't know, it's just a really weird thing because I listened to Dr. P for such a long time, and it was like this. He was like this kind of this godlike person
Oh yeah.
with this godlike music, and suddenly he was just sitting there in the club and just waiting to play, and we were like, "Hey, can we do a photo with you?" And he was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
And yeah, and
It's
he
so
played,
weird.
and it was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I feel like but like I've talked about this before, but I feel like at least before you go to like you start going to live shows and stuff like that, you kind of like idolize these people because it's just like, you don't really know them, and then it's like once you're like actually, around them, it's weird at first because you're like, these people that I've been like listening to for so long and that are like somewhat, I guess, like not untouchable, but the fact that like, I've
Yeah.
never been able to like interact with them regularly. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they're persons. They're not, I don't know, flying around like angels or something like that. So
yeah.
yeah, they're really normal persons like you and I.
Yeah. And it's definitely interesting. Like, do you think you have if you still like listen to Dr. P, which I'm probably sure you do you like, I guess, value his music I guess slightly more because of the fact that like he was the first person you saw live?
Yeah, I think it's definitely. Um, I mean, I think you can also take it like that the name that's on the track and who made the track really influences how you perceive it and how you hear it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I hear a track and that I'm first like, oh, that sounds fine, and then I see that it's Dr. P, and like, oh, it's a new Dr. P song, let's go. And so I also, yeah, sometimes, yeah, so it definitely influences the way I experience the track and how much I like it. And I would also say um, that uh, then what was I trying to say? So, for example, sometimes Skrillex just makes um, mistakes and like production mistakes and does things that you wouldn't normally do. And if I would were to hear that in a beginner's track, I would tell them, "Yo, dude, you gotta make your kick more mono and that this and that, and you're doing that wrong." But if I know that it's Skrillex, I would never question that because I know exactly that it was on purpose. So I think that also influences the way I experience stuff because I just know that this person knows what he's
Yeah.
doing and is doing that exactly on purpose instead of I just get a demo by somebody and they're like, "Oh, can you tell me what I should fix?" And then I hear like a stereo sub bass, and I'm like, "Oh, you really gotta fix that if that's not on purpose." And then there's Mo Kismet, which is just doing stereo sub stuff all the time. So I know
Yeah.
exactly that Mo Kismet does that on purpose, but maybe somebody else not. So I really think it influences the way you perceive
Mm,
a song.
definitely. Well, on that note, I think we're reaching around the end of our time here for this episode. So, um, is there any like last words that you want to give to anybody listening, and or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. Well, my DP we are talking about is not too old. It's I think we released it about 2 weeks ago, and yeah, you should definitely check that out. That was kind of my quarantine project, and also keep your eyes open because when are you dropping the podcast?
This episode should be coming out like I believe next week,
Okay,
like
well
next
then
Friday or something.
there is already something out that wait, okay, then listen to my Infect score remix that is on Disciple out now because it's gonna be out now in 1 week, but not at the moment.
Oh yeah. Well then this will probably then this is coming out the exact same day. So cool.
Yo, dude! Another announcement. I just got the notification. My a track from me got uploaded on Dubstep Gutter right now.
All right, that's awesome. Fucking hell. Nice.
I just got the notification. Woo!
This is a live celebration now. Or rather, celebration recorded, a week ago.
Exactly.
All right. Well then, with all of that said, where can everybody find you?
Well, just type in Killin Void on any social media and you will find something, hopefully.
All right. Well, for everybody listening, I will like everything for Killin Void will be linked down in the description, all of his socials and stuff like that. You can go ahead and follow him and all that. Everything for the podcast will be down there as well. Everything for me personally as well. If you want I guess join our Discord and you can come chill out in a server with all these cool people. Donate to our Patreon. We would like to be making money off of this, but that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, like it also help us out. But yeah, on that note, thank you, Killin Void, so much for coming on, and thank you everybody out there so much for tuning in. Yeah, we'll see you all in the next episode.